Yo, chat, before we get into this video, I just want to let y'all know, before you click off and you leave a comment in the fucking comments below, I believe everybody has said dangerous things at one point. The reason we're so, like, not hostile, that's not a good word. The reason we're so, critical, god damn, the fact that I couldn't find that word. The reason we're so critical of Hasan is because he says it all the fucking time. He's radicalizing his audience and telling them that they should go kill people. That's not okay. Like, and you can argue freedom of speech, but you should not have the freedom to tell people that are children, most likely, that are watching you, that they should go commit murder. I don't understand how that's, like, people can rationalize that. I can't think of a single example where somebody who has different beliefs from Hasan has told people to go murder somebody. And before y'all bring it up, there is this clip of Tectone. Where is it? How about I go kill you in real life?
Maybe you should talk to the Muslim lantern. The Muslim lantern. I have no idea what that is. Wait, is that a confession? No, shut the fuck up, you fucking weird fuck. How about I kill you in real life?
Yeah, there's shit like that, but, like, I'm not saying it's not a big deal. It obviously is. He shouldn't have said that, and I'm pretty sure he got in trouble for that, actually. But that's besides the point. Like, this stuff that Hasan says isn't okay, and I'm gonna disprove everything that he says in this video.
The American government is actively taking the initiative to go after left-wing content creators. There's not much we can do. The only thing we can do is hope for the best and hope that these institutions that are holding on by a thread at this point will still apply some semblance of justice. Ended the broadcast last night. Another, what was it, like 8-9 hour broadcast in the books. You already know what it is. Woke up early.
You already know what it is. What's that song?
Started lifting, and in the process of lifting, I got some, not much personal news, but in the process of lifting, I did get some not so great news. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be, like, making fun of it, but
that the Congressional, there is going to be a Congressional hearing on the radicalization on platforms such as Twitch.
As there fucking should be, bro. I believe what I'm saying right now has no place on this platform. Bro, it's 13 plus for this website. Why are we talking about politics to 13-year-olds? I don't understand. Like, they don't know what the fuck we're talking about, so they believe whoever they like the most. They're 13.
This is a real push that's taking place. The House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, Republican from Kentucky, invited the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify on the radicalization of online forum users. Okay? And the reason why they're doing this, the reason why they added Twitch onto this specifically is, even though Twitch has no factor in this investigation whatsoever.
No, not this specific one, not as much. But that's besides the point, bro. Like, it's about the radicalization. He just said it himself. It's about the radicalization of people in discourse and politics on platforms. This very much applies. And before he says it, the reason Kick isn't on here is because nobody gives a fuck about politics on Kick. Until recently, where, like, Asmongold and Nuxtaku and Tectone have gotten on there. But other than that, nobody gives a fuck over there.
Whereas Reddit, due to the profile of the the profile of the roommate being prominent on Reddit, Steam, due to the
Oh my God, they were roommates. Sorry.
Steam shooters, the shooter's Steam profile, and Discord, due to the fact that the alleged shooter was on Discord. Those are three platforms.
Bro,
that
does this guy not know how to use a fucking microphone? Why is his voice going up and down over and over again?
been mentioned in
It's so impossible to equalize this shit.
the investigation. Twitch, on the other hand, has not been mentioned in the investigation at all. And if the conversation is actually about broader online radicalization, then they would obviously factor in Meta, YouTube, Kick, Rumble, Gab, and numerous other right-wing
Oh, fuck is Gab?
and right-wing adjacent platforms, Twitter obviously being a primary one. The reason why they are mentioning
Is Twitter right-leaning or right-wing just because of Elon Musk? Really? Is that what we're saying? Because you know how many people I've seen that are liberals, that are Democrats, left-leaning, centrist, fucking socialist people saying death threats to literally anyone that they disagree with? If we're trying to say that the right wing is the wing that makes all the death threats and calls for all the violence, then why am I seeing the same shit from the other side on X? And before you guys call me right wing, I just use my fucking head. It's that simple. Like, there's certain things that I agree with from Hasan. There's certain things I agree with from Asmongold, Tectone, Nux. There's certain things I agree with Destiny. And I fucking hate Destiny. Destiny is horrible. Most of the time, Destiny just yells at people until they agree that he's right. Because he can't handle being wrong. When someone's proven him wrong, he just grifts until they just are sick and fucking tired of arguing with him. It's ridiculous.
Twitch in this is because of the active efforts by those on the right, on Twitter, and all around to try and deplatform me, because they say Twitch is a totally liberal woke platform. This is what the Congress of the United States House of Representatives Committee on Oversight and Government.
Well, I mean, if you're right wing, you get banned. So that's pretty accurate, I would say. Like, I don't know what you want me to say to that. And obviously, Asmongold shouldn't have said that shit that he said about the inferior culture comment. That was the thing that he shouldn't have said, and he agreed with it and said that I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'm becoming radicalized. That's what he said. And he owned up to it, and then stopped saying shit like that.
Government Reform sent to Dan Clancy. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform requests your testimony at hearing on Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 10 a.m. in room HVC 210 of the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center. The hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including incidents of open incitement to commit violent and politically motivated acts. To confirm your appearance at the hearing, please contact the Committee on Oversight Government Reform staff at 202-225, whatever. The Committee on... You will have the opportunity to provide a 5-minute...
Why did he... I feel like you should have blocked out the phone number and the address and the person's name that signed it, but okay.
Opening statement prior to answering questions posed by members. The Committee on Oversight and Government Reform is the principal oversight committee of the U.S. House of Representatives and has broad authority to investigate any matter at any time under House Rule X. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
House Rule X? Like the website? Holy shit. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that fucking dumb.
This inquiry. Now, in the past, there have been investigations such as this one. I believe it was about like Russiagate, where people just didn't show up. Let's be real. The reason why they sent this to Valve is because Discord, Valve, Steam, and Reddit have been mentioned in this investigation. Twitch has not. So why are they factoring Twitch into this if they're not going to factor in all other social media platforms? I think you all know why. As I tweeted, I said, Twitch is not a factor in the Tyler Robinson investigation at all, and yet they want to bring the platform into the story. There's a sinister reason, and I think you all know what it is. There is a broader conversation to be had about radicalization that's taking place online, which would, of course, include Twitch as well. Okay? If this was being done in a fair and balanced way, I totally would understand it. To have all platforms, specifically ones where radicalization very clearly unfolds in front of our eyes in broad daylight, specifically Twitter, when it comes to every single neo-Nazi shooter, for example, that would be understandable. But the reason why they're not doing that, and the reason why they're doing this instead is because this is directional. And the only platform that is mentioned in here that is not relevant or pertinent to the investigation whatsoever is because they want to use the Charlie Kirk assassination to target people like myself. Okay? I recognize this.
That's the thing. Who is like yourself, though? Who else is doing this shit? Like, where the fuck is Frogan at? Where the fuck is Denim's at? Where the fuck is, whatever that fuck's name is? What's that goddamn guy's name? He's so irrelevant, I can't even remember his fucking name. I made a video about this guy. I don't know. The guy who punches couches. I can't remember his fucking name.
This was an initiative that has been circulating for quite a while. This is an initiative that has been in the background due to Israel, due to my anti-Israel commentary for quite a while. And now they're using...
It's not because of your anti-Israel commentary, bro. It's because of your support for the other side of that conflict. And I'm not saying Israel or Hamas or Palestine or whatever you want to call all these organizations. I'm not saying any of them are right or wrong. Well, no. I am saying they're wrong. They're both wrong. They're both committing murders, they're both killing children, they're both killing civilians, they're both ordering fucking drone strikes and missile strikes on each other and murdering people. They're both wrong. They couldn't just agree with each other and coexist. If they could, we wouldn't have this problem. But because they're both wrong, this is where we're at. They're both, like, two things can be true at the same time. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Instead of using the anti-Israel reasoning, they are using the he is fomenting political violence narrative in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk shooting, which I think is perhaps one of the worst angles of attack, considering that there is nothing I've said that is even remotely violent, especially directed towards Charlie Kirk. And also, I myself was slated to engage in spirited discourse.
How many times is he gonna say this? We get it, bro. We know you were gonna talk to him. Also, 6'7". Sorry. Brain rot. Bro, we know you, we get it. We understand. We've heard it a million fucking times. You were gonna debate Charlie Kirk and then he got murdered. We know. What is your fucking point there in even bringing that up?
Back and forth, debate in a public setting against Charlie Kirk. Twitch does stand out among companies, Steam, Discord, Reddit, that oversight wants to scrutinize, especially since Comer has directly tied the testimony request of the Kirk shooting. The suspect used Discord and reportedly Steam. Right-wing folks have long said Reddit is left-leaning, okay? And everybody on the ideological right are obviously making it seem as though this is totally relevant. Totally relevant, right?
Okay, so what's his argument for, is Discord right-leaning as well? Is that why they're in the investigation? Because I'm pretty sure everyone who's ever played a video game or ever streamed in their life has a Discord account. So, is Discord right-leaning too? Are they also villains? Like, what are we doing here?
Charlie Kirk was asked why he wasn't willing to debate Nick Fuentes as opposed to someone like Hasan Piker, who he was set to debate less than 2 weeks after the day he was shot. According to Kirk, he saw Hasan as an honest, genuine, good faith actor. This is true, right?
You know, it's funny. I personally do not give a platform to bad faith actors. And I had a whole open about this. And by the way, a really important thing is not to lie. And to not bear false testimony. It's fine. I'll answer your question. You know, you said, oh, you know, I want to have a question about Turning Point events. And you obviously lied about your question. Doesn't surprise me because you have deceit. But you know what? Honestly, I'm asked that question all the time. I don't platform trolls. And I don't platform and I don't discuss people or I don't debate with people that are not good faith actors. You know, it's funny. I personally do not give a platform to bad faith actors.
Bro, can you get off your phone and focus on what you're fucking doing? Holy shit.
And
Mr. Hasan, did you see the forward dated letter saying, sorry, Charlie got dead from Israel dated September 2nd? Yeah, I saw that. I think that's just, I mean, I can chalk that up as a accident. Like in the initial, when they were putting it out there. Yeah, Slasher says the government.
What? The fuck was that? What was that random ass comment? What was that even about?
Is scapegoating social media, chat, and video games under the guise of political de-radicalization as a way to censor the internet. Meanwhile, all the free speech guys cheer this on because they want certain streamers banned over personal vendettas. It is pathetic.
Okay, but when you use freedom of speech as a way to radicalize people and tell them they should go murder people that they disagree with, no matter if it's a fucking joke, you know you have the responsibility to say things in a way that is not going to be harmful to your audience's brains. If you don't understand that, you're a dumb fuck. All right? You gotta word things in a clever way that's not go kill Rick Scott. Me saying that could get clipped out of context, and then somebody could post that, and then I get canceled. You see how that's a little dangerous to say something like that? You have to word things a different fucking way so that you don't get clipped out of context. You're a streamer, bro. If you just go be a fucking YouTuber at this point then. If you can't do that.
They don't understand it. There is a reason why I have, especially in the aftermath of October 7, consistently said, whenever people go, hey, shouldn't this person be deplatformed? I've consistently said, I am not going to advocate for deplatforming anyone, especially because I know that the crosshairs are on me first and foremost.
Yeah, especially because he knows he'll get in trouble if he does advocate that. He doesn't actually care. That's what he just fucking said. He literally just said that he's not gonna tell people to deplatform somebody, despite the fact that he does that all the time with Tectone and Asmongold and Nuxtaku by calling them all pedophiles, rapists, or people that beat their significant others. Like, what are we talking about? It's also with no evidence. So you're not advocating for deplatforming when you say that somebody's a pedophile? Because I'm pretty sure that's deplatforming.
Okay? Of course, that hasn't stopped Asmongold, Tectone, and numerous others that have actively advocated not only for deplatforming, but for the government to literally take action, which would be obviously a direct violation of the First Amendment, direct violation of freedom of speech, beyond like cancel culture and whatnot. And now it's unfolding.
I guess I could say it's not deplatforming, it is canceling, though.
Not that it matters. Moral consistency in this regard does not matter, okay? When you call for violence, yes. See, everyone is going to try and make this seem as though this is a sincere request, okay? That's it. That's all this is. right-wingers that want to enact out a personal vendetta over a Twitch streamer that they dislike will try to turn around and say, no, dude, you've been calling for violence. You're radical. You've radicalized people. Okay? And the
dude, fuck it, I'm saying it.
That is someone who is extremely
On a daily.
dude, he's such a pussy. Just say you want me to be fucking killed, okay? What is this? What is this wishy-washy like, oh, the left gets to do terrorism and the left is defended for doing terrorism and they should actually experience the violence themselves. That's what he's trying to say.
That's not what he was saying, but okay.
What One Piece is.
One Piece, like, is that an organization?
No, One Piece is an anime.
This
Oh,
isn't
okay.
relevant for this.
Why did you ban him though? What a fucking stupid question. You get banned as well. What do you mean, why did you ban him though? That person is a Nazi, okay? If you are in defense of Israel, if you're in defense of Zionism at this stage, you are no different to me than a fucking Nazi.
Bro, both sides are wrong. I don't know what you want.
Dollars estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott former governor.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Why not just stop the fraud?
Of Florida, Rick Scott. You wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
There's about 50 billion.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just rot.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
In our sincerity.
Remember he said he didn't do violence or anything, or death threats or anything like that?
Delivering for the very working people who've been left behind by our politics, compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been. I would tell him the last person who couldn't get my name.
The fuck is that? Why are you holding a gun after somebody says something about you on a fucking Twitch chat?
The reason why they can't associate me with anything related to Charlie Kirk is not seemingly stopping them from continuing along with this narrative. Now, of course, as I've said already, ban me all day, every day. That's not going to stop the truth. And if you were to ban me, that's not going to, if you were to get me deplatformed successfully off of Twitch, I'll find a way. But even if I were to, even if my career were to be over, right? Even if I had no platform whatsoever to speak on issues that I think are important to address, that still would not change your life. If you are a right-winger who is excited about the prospect of making the government take care of someone who you find to be a nuisance, someone who you despise, make no mistake, this will eventually harm you as well.
Yeah, no shit. Like, what do you want? No shit. Obviously. I know that. I'm not a fucking dumbass.
Okay? Not only will this eventually harm you as well, because of course they're going to come after you too, because this is about broad censorship. There is going to inevitably be an opinion that you have, whether it be on Israel, for example, or any number of different reasons. And the government will say, this is political dissent. We don't like it. And they will come after you too. I know it's very difficult for you to comprehend that right now because you're too excited at the prospect of imagining a world where you've taken a scalp, where you've successfully been able to deplatform this woke Antifa guy, right? Having said that, however, this is not going to put more money in your pocket. This is not going to make you more likely to retire at a reasonable age. This is not going to make your health care more affordable or free. It's just not going to fix any of the real issues in your life.
I don't know. Like, if the political guy disappears from this platform, I'm pretty sure the people who are fucking politically brain rotted and that's all they care about is politics all fucking day, are probably going to go to any other political streamers. So, yeah, they would be making more money, but okay.
If the issues that I fight for every single day. Your former podcast host and Dan Stalkman are the main cause of this? Absolutely. This has been an ongoing initiative in the background for the past 2 years, since October 7. And a lot of people have actively aligned themselves with right-wingers because they know right-wingers are the only ones who would actually be crazy enough to push for this kind of deplatforming, to push for this kind of initiative. But it does not matter. Right? The very same people that always said cancel culture is so stupid, using like age-old things that are taken out of context to associate a person's entire worldview with like a 10-second soundbite is so stupid, are very clearly utilizing that and weaponizing that entire thing, as they have done so over and over again. But that's the goal. People who don't want to fight for improving their situation need something to feel better about, so they need some small wins. No, I think that's exactly what it is. But the left wing did the same thing, but now the shoe is on the other foot. It's just how these things work. No, that is incorrect. Okay? That is incorrect. Especially for someone like myself. If you're coming to me and telling me that, you're definitely wrong. Okay?
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the reason why there's a lot of radlibs who hate me is because of my consistent advocacy for reform, rehabilitation, and my lack of interest in hyper-focusing on culture war issues that pertain to cancellations and things of the like. Do you understand?
I don't think I've ever seen a radical liberal that hates Hasan. In fact, most of them that I've seen that he interacts with in real life are wearing his merch.
There's a reason why there's so many like people who present themselves as leftists who will be like, I Hasan, he's right-wing. He's actually secretly right-wing. The reason why they say that is because whenever people come to me
Who the fuck has ever said that?
with demands of deplatforming people, I always say, I'm not interested in that. That's a big part of it. No, that's not the reason. Okay. Well, there's also a bunch of different things that I advocate for that they disagree with, whether it be like, I don't know, American imperialism, whether it be Israel, you know, whether it be getting people to reconsider the way that they've learned about American history, for example. There's a million different reasons why someone could be upset about my commentary. They posted on IG that you wish this would happen to Hilo, like how deranged they have to be. Yeah, that was so ridiculous that no one actually picked that up because it's a completely hysterical perspective. Yeah, these guys don't realize you talked to Asman the literal day after he made those genocide comments. You weren't trying to get him banned. The exact opposite occurred. Exactly. And many people yelled at me over it. They said I was actually whitewashing and laundering his reputation. If you recall, there was never a moment where I actually advocated for deplatforming. Now, that doesn't matter, right? It's clear that that doesn't matter. Taylor Lorenz says, the government is using the shooting as a pretense to censor the internet and deplatform progressive creators, and Democrats continue to go along with it. They're going to jawbone all day, ram through COSA, repeal Section 230, and worse, unless we fight back hard to protect online speech. A big part of this equation is...
Wait. Accounts Taylor Lorenz follows or mentioned can reply. I wonder why.
Fight back hard to protect online speech. A big part of this equation is anti-Israel sentiment. I promise you, if I was a pro-Israel progressive, okay, which obviously is oxymoronic, but if I was, this wouldn't be as major of an issue. 100%. There would be no calls to deplatform someone such as myself by the ADL. There would be no calls. There would be no liberals turning the other cheek when they see this initiative coming from the right. This is punishment directed for that issue first and foremost. You can try to find any way to cut it in your mind to make it seem as though there's other reasons for it. Oh, he deserves it. This and that. People only say you're secretly a right-winger because many people prescribe to categorize beliefs instead of allowing for nuance where morals, belief, ethos determine specific responses to the real-world issues. Theory only applies so far. They're trying to make an example of you because you put Zoran and Cuomo was attacking with the 9/11 statement. Exactly. I've had liberals who have also put the spotlight on me in a negative fashion, like Andrew Cuomo, Eric Adams. This is a real fear for some people. I mean, obviously, Richie Torres was the first guy who pushed for this long time ago, leading up to the election. This was before the election. I just noticed the hearing is one day after October 7th. Yeah, but you didn't do
Oh my God.
anything wrong. Why are they going after you? It doesn't matter. I need you to understand. It's not about doing something wrong. Okay? It's not about doing something wrong. It has nothing to do with that. It's because of my perspective. It's because of what I advocate for. And this is unfortunately something that I have considered from day one. It was an inevitability that once
He advocates for public murder of sitting U.S. senators. That's got to be the worst clip. That has to be the worst one. And I've seen the whole stream. It wasn't taken out of context. I've seen him try to explain it away that it was. It's not.
it got to a point
Go look it
where
up.
my audience grew to a certain level, my platform grew to a certain level, that inevitably people in positions of power would find that to be dangerous and would want to do everything in their power to take me out. We're there now. I will be honest, I'm shocked that it didn't happen sooner. But remember, there is this mentality that you have in your mind where you think the government, why are they doing this? This doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It's going to be 100% about the clip chimps. Have your context counter arguments ready, of course, but it doesn't matter because there is no way that the official organs of the government, like there's no way that I will be able to, even with like a big media push or whatever, be able to overcome the faucet of right-wing propaganda paired up with the official organs of the government taking the initiative to slander and smear a singular Twitch streamer. Part of the reason why they're doing this is so that they can get media attention to it. Here's a corresponding piece. Laura Loomer, Elon Musk, and virtually every single right-winger since the moment of Charlie Kirk's assassination has actively put the crosshairs on myself and some other members of the left as well, or people that they foresee as being a part of the Democratic Party's messaging operation. I'm the most visible and the most accessible left-wing content creator in North America. So of course I would be...
Does anyone remember when Hasan was trying to say that he was centrist? That he was a socialist centrist? Whatever happened to that? The fuck ever happened there?
Public enemy number one. There are Democrats on this committee as well. And I am certain, there are going to be Democrats that would want to be on this committee, that would waive to get on this committee as well. If this actually ended up happening and like the Twitch CEO actually like showed up, because there's also that too. Dan Classy could just not show up. There are congresspersons on the minority side that I know personally as well, that I can talk to as well. I mean, there's Greg Kazar, there's Summer Lee, there's Maxwell Frost, there's Ro Khanna. So there's Ayanna Pressley. There are certainly Democrats on there that I am certain would do a decent job of defending the freedom to dissent openly and freely. I want to bring up Whitney
Can
Webb.
you imagine if they took everybody who he just mentioned off of the list and replaced them with different people? Can you imagine if the U.S. government did that shit? That'd be fucked up, but it'd be kind of funny. It'd be like that's the most petty shit that they could do, but yeah, it'd still be fun. Or it'd still be fucked up.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want from me? Shut up. Take a week off. Jesus Christ. You just keep spamming Whitney Webb over and over again. Oh my God. I have brought up Whitney Webb in the past. Your saving grace here is that ranking member Robert Garcia has said he's seen your content and knows that you're not the issue. He's also said some more. He said more in some circles. I mean, there's that as well. Oh, Lamau, they didn't invite the YouTube CEO. That means they have control over YouTube. I hope Dan doesn't go in there like a naive guy. It's very odd. Oh, Rashida Tlaib is also on here as well. So there's...
Yes, they didn't invite the YouTube CEO, so that means automatically, that 100% for a fact, means that the US government controls YouTube. Is that just... We're just coming to that conclusion? Is that what we're doing? This is why I hate modern day politics. People just come to a conclusion in 5 fucking seconds after hearing anything. And they don't even use critical thinking. They don't use their fucking neurons inside of their brain to even have them fire enough to think about anything.
There's a bunch of Democrats that I know personally on this list on the minority side, right? There's also Marjorie Taylor Greene, which ironically enough could be a saving grace on the Republican side for someone such as myself as well, because she definitely has seen and has criticized a lot of the
No way! Somebody on the Republican side actually might possibly agree with Hasan on something. It's almost like 2 things can be right at the same fucking time. Oh my god.
the censorship initiatives, especially as it pertains to Israel. Of course, that doesn't matter. I think there is a higher priority to clean up and pack up any kind of political dissidence, any kind of political counter messaging. So I suspect that she won't be as enthusiastic. For people that say, dude,
wait, is it Thursday?
The context. There will come a point.
Oh shit! Tomorrow's Friday.
Where
what
you
the
will
fuck?
understand that context is irrelevant. Okay? For slop tubers, context is irrelevant. This is about smearing. This is about attempted deplatforming. Context does not matter. The truth.
I'm not advocating for deplatforming, to be honest. I just want him to see some fucking consequences for the type of shit that he says. And I'm not talking about, like, getting banned on Twitch. I don't give a fuck about that. To be honest, there was, at one point I was like, yeah, he shouldn't be on this website. But I think that politics shouldn't be the fucking thing for Twitch. Do you remember this used to be a fucking gaming website? You used to not be allowed to do anything but gaming on this website, or you'd get in trouble. When did we move to the entire website's gotta be about politics now? Why is that how it is? But yeah, I don't think he should be deplatformed. I don't think he needs to be banned. He does need to be banned for the things that he said before that he didn't get banned for. Yeah. Take a fucking week off or some shit. Don't take a weekend off that you were already gonna take off. Like that ban that he probably talked to Dan Clancy and was like, hey, I'm not gonna be streaming anyway. You might as well ban me ban me for this weekend. Like, that's fucking stupid. But he should get in some, I don't want to say legal trouble, but some scrutiny from the government. Not political commentators, not fucking streamers, not YouTubers, not me. I don't even give a fuck about what no one's gonna give a fuck about me saying this stuff. I'm just making this because I feel like it's important, and if it gets attention, then great. I've helped someone realize the truth about this person. But I think the government needs to talk to this fucking guy and tell him to chill the hell out.
Does not matter. Okay? What matters is the fight you have to put up.
I'm not saying he should get arrested. I'm not saying he should... I'm obviously not saying he should get killed. Let me make that 100% clear. No one should be killed for politics. It's fucking stupid. I'm saying the government needs to have a fucking conversation with this man. Obviously, I'm not saying he should be harmed in any way. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say that.
Simple. Lying is overpowered, and everything here is being done in a partisan basis. The Colorado school shooter from the same day that Charlie Kirk was killed posted himself holding his gun right here on Twitter/X, where he followed multiple far-right accounts. Weird how you wouldn't call on Elon Musk to testify.
Wait. I want to see a debate between Hasan and Donald Trump. Wait, how fire would that be? Holy shit.
An online radicalization hearing. That's the thing.
I want to see how that goes
Every
down.
platform. America is violent across the board, and every single social media platform has reflected on that violence. Every single social media platform has had a shooter, a political shooter, a mass shooter, a school shooter, either get radicalized on said platform or post on said platforms. There are obviously protective measures in the legislation.
I'm not even gonna blame the shooters being radicalized on Hasan. I don't even know if I believe that for like school shootings and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's the problem. I'm saying it's gonna happen, and it's inevitable that that shit happens on social media. We're just telling you to chill the fuck out and stop accelerating the radicalization. It's that simple. Just chill the fuck out. I don't know how it's so hard for you to understand this.
That try to ensure that these platforms are not held liable and therefore can continue at least like presenting some semblance of free discourse. But that environment is changing. It is very obvious that environment is changing. It's very obvious that these guys don't want that to be the case anymore. And I think a big part of that reason is Israel. Just as the TikTok ban that was passed in a bipartisan manner came at the directive of the ADL and numerous other advocacy organizations, they want to make sure that they control all kinds of political discourse, political dissidents. Tyler Robinson, as far as we know, didn't have a account. He might have. And the last part of this story that I want to address is this. The overwhelming majority of violence from nonpartisan independent investigations and even the Department of Justice, the overwhelming majority of political violence and domestic terror has happened in the hands of the far right. Far right anti-government extremism is responsible for the overwhelming majority of domestic terror incidents outside of 9/11. And there have been shooters that have detailed their ambitions, channeling the right-wing rhetoric that you hear from prominent right-wing content creators, all the way from Tucker Carlson to even Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro. No such initiative has ever been taken against those commentators. And the reason for that is because it creates a dangerous environment of censorship that liberals and Republicans alike understood up until this moment. Okay? We are now moving in the direction of the government taking a heavy-handed approach in silencing political dissent. And a lot of people on the right do not understand what they are doing. Okay? Right-wing creators have been named in actual manifestos. Right-wing creators were in investigations found to be responsible for the radicalization of many far-right shooters.
Once again, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say it. Both people, both sides, both wings, even centrists, socialists, fucking communists, any party, the Green Party, I don't even know what the fuck the Green Party even believes. Anybody can be wrong about certain things or about many things. That's why you don't choose a fucking side. You choose a belief system. Not even a belief system. You choose the beliefs that you believe in. when are people gonna understand that?
Use
your
you
brain.
Say liar because you are simply oblivious. You don't know the truth. And it's okay. It's strange considering you've been following me since 2019. And this is the first time you've chosen to speak in this chat. So many 2019 followers chirping for the first time this week. Yeah. Unironically, when they come for you, what are you going to do? Maybe the DSA guys could provide some amount of protection. No, they can't. No one can. The reality of the matter is the American government is immensely powerful, especially when it comes.
I'm curious. Is he streaming right now? If I go to Twitch and I go to his chat, what have my chat messages been? Dang it, I can't even check. Oh wait, I can check now. Where the fuck did my message just go? What? Oh my god. 24 hours? What the fuck? Anyways. I was gonna check what my logs are on his chat.
Dealing with domestic affairs. And if the American government is...
Because there's a lot of things that I used to agree with him on.
Actively taking the initiative.
But he doesn't believe those things anymore. Maybe he never did.
Content creators, left-wing advocates, left-wing organizers and activists. There's not much we can do. The only thing we can do is hope for the best and hope that these institutions that are holding on by a thread at this point will still apply some semblance of justice. The House Oversight Committee technically has no power. The House Oversight Committee does these kinds of shows of force in an effort to bully and ridicule people. So as long as the company doesn't capitulate, but there's of course no protection afforded to someone like myself in that regard, as long as the company doesn't capitulate, it doesn't go anywhere. Not dissimilar to the ways in which there are outrage. There is a manufactured outrage, right? To demand bans for content creators. Sometimes Twitch leans into that and they actually legitimize those claims, no matter how ridiculous, like in the case with Cracker, right? And sometimes they don't and it goes away. In this circumstance, it's just
I'm allowed to say it. Cracker Barrel, bro. I'm allowed to say it.
Entirely dependent on how much the larger company, Amazon, the company that Twitch is under, sees this as a imminent threat to its bottom line. There's also a real fear from these companies, no matter how powerful they seem, about what Donald Trump might do in retaliation to them. That's precisely the reason why so many top law firms immediately caved to Trump's demands to offer pro bono service to the federal government. The reason why they did so is because the Trump administration straight up said, you will never be able to step foot inside of a federal building if you don't do this. That is unprecedented. And instead of taking on this legal battle, many of the top legal companies in this country decided to cave and capitulate. But there is a little bit of hope that I have, at least, with respect to how they have behaved, how Harvard has behaved, for example, and chosen to fight back, because that kind of response shows that these institutions are still there and they are still beholden to the truth, at least to a certain degree, and that this government is not all powerful. So it's entirely in the hands of billionaires and mega corporations and how much they choose to capitulate to demands being made by this authoritarian government. I hope people understand exactly what is going on here. Okay? I hope people understand that it's not just me either. House Republicans urge Treasury to investigate Code Pink, Palestinian Youth Movement, Breakthrough Media, and other anti-genocide left-wing orgs. House Oversight Chair James Comer and Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and by the way, neither of these guys are very serious.
Anyways, he just says like a bunch of random shit at the end of this video. I've already listened to it while I was walking my dog, so I don't think the rest of it's really necessary. Anyways, that's gonna be the end of the video. And if you guys just want people to use fucking common sense when it comes to politics, leave a like and a comment down below. I mean, it's that simple, bro. Like, I don't know how we're struggling to understand this anymore. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all later.